welcome. Tonight we are going to get to chat to Brianna. And do you say your last name Aguilar?
No, it's Aguilar.
So Brianna graciously agreed to come live with me. She's been on her own TikTok channel for quite some time, sharing updates about prison life and her experience in prison in Utah with these two. So she was in the same prison as Ruby Frankie and Jodi Hildebrandt. And she was kind enough to send me the documentation and paperwork that she's got about her own case to show that she was in the same prison. So I was able to look over that and verify that, unfortunately, yes, she was in the same location as these two for a good little stint. So thank you so much for joining us. I know that I had posted a video, as you know, about it, and I got people just to kind of drop in the comments any questions that they may have that they want to know, and maybe you'll know the answers to. But I thought we'd chit chat first and then we can get into some questions and maybe take some live questions.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
You good?
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. Okay, so first of all, I'll give just a little recap to everybody just about the Ruby Frankie, Jodi Hildebrandt situation. So for anyone that is just joining, these are the women that we're talking about this evening. This is Ruby Frankie and Jodi Hildebrandt. The two of them were arrested over a year ago. It was August of 2023, they were arrested because of what the two of them were doing to Ruby Frankie's two youngest children. Ruby Frankie was a vlogger on YouTube with a channel called 8 Passengers. And the things that they did to her two youngest children were absolutely horrific. If you're not familiar with the story, make sure you go check out my playlist. I have all the details you need in there, but I'll just give a little run through. Ruby Frankie, like I said, had a YouTube channel. Getting a phone call. She has 6 children and she didn't treat any of her children well, but it did look like she treated her two youngest the worst. And she basically kicked her husband out of the house once she met Jodi Hildebrandt, her life coach. They started this new website coaching podcast, whatever you want to call it, with Jodi Hildebrandt called Connections. And the two of them just went wild, I'll say. They were both Mormons and they took their religion to the extreme and added in a lot of horrible things with the two kids, and they got arrested. So the youngest son climbed out a window from Jodi Hildebrandt's home, went to a neighbor's, the police were contacted, and that's how everything broke. So on August 30th or 31st of 2023, they were arrested. They were brought to prison. And they were sentenced. Now, their sentencing's weird. And Brianna, maybe you know a little bit about this because you're in Utah as well. But the sentencing that they were given was they took a plea deal. So they received between 1 to 15 years per count. And it ended up equating to between 4 years and 30 years because they chose to run it consecutive or concurrent instead of consecutive. And in Utah, there's some little loophole that if you do that, you can't serve the max time. You can't go further than 30 years. So the max they would have is 30 years. The minimum is 4 years. And they go in front of the parole board who does the deciding of this in December of 2026. So first of all, Brianna, do you know anything about this loophole or how that works?
I really don't know about the loophole because I only know every case is different. So like even if it's like consecutive or concurrent or however, every case is different. So the Board of Pardons could be like, they could serve up to 30 years or they could do 4 years, but I don't know. It's different. Like every case is different. Just like with me, I was supposed to do 14 months and I ended up only doing 7, 8.
Okay. And your parole board is like your decider there, isn't it? Like the parole board is the one that's going to say, all right, it's been 4 years, you can get out, or too bad, you're staying in.
Yeah, it's up to the board. So once your judge sentences you to prison, it's up to the board now. If you catch a new charge, they will, like you will see a judge, but then they'll either run it concurrent or consecutive. It just depends.
Okay. So that's where we are, guys. So every time someone says, how long are they in prison for? We literally have no idea. Until the parole board, it's anyone's guess. It could be them getting out next year in December up until going 30 years. So we're waiting to see. So Brianna, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit? And if you're comfortable, you can talk about why you were in prison or just skim it, whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, so I first caught my charge back in, I actually see my paperwork that I actually sent you. It was back in 2022. So I've been going in and out of rehabs for the last couple years. And so last year I got picked up at like this house at a raid. And I try to push for like another program because they say it's programs before prison. But my judge, she worked at the Board of Pardons and she has a wife that's a probation officer. So she's like, I'm just sending you to prison, Brianna. So I've had a lot going on the last couple years, but it was just crazy to be in prison with these two because I had no clue who they were when I first got to prison.
So you didn't know at all who they were. Did you find out when you were in there? Were other people telling you who they were?
Yeah, because so when you first hit the prison, they only transport you once a week. And I had a prison transport. My transport was paused because I had a new charge for the raid I was in. I got an obstruction of justice because I didn't come out of the house. So they paused my transport. I didn't go until the 27th. So back then, RNO, where you first get to the prison, you're housed there for like a month or two. I was there for like, I think 3 months.
So this is where you go to wait to figure out where you're going to prison, and they were in there.
Yeah, so when you go to the prison, you do all your paperwork and they give you clothes and everything. You wait for like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, just depends on how busy they are. And then they walk you back to the housing unit. I was in an 8-man cell with Jodi, Ruby, sorry, not Jodi.
Okay, so that was your first time seeing her.
Yes, I had no idea who she was. Everybody else in my cell, I knew another girl in there because she was my friend out here. Like we would hang out. And so when I seen her, she was talking to me about Ruby, and everybody else in there, of course, knew who Ruby was, but I didn't. I didn't even know really anything about prison because it's different compared to jail. And I don't think people really understand that. But once you like go to prison, they have like politics. So they hated Jodi and Ruby. They still do hate them.
Who does? The inmates?
Mm-hmm. The whole inmate.
Because of what their crime was?
The whole prison. They
We
do
were
not.
wondering that.
Yeah, they hate any crime, but like I feel like especially for any child crime, they hate it the most, and people just make your life miserable in there.
So if you were in a holding cell with 8 people, what does that look like?
So when you first walk in, like go into the cell, there's a bed, there's 2 beds on one side, and then across from it, there's 2 beds, and then another 2 beds next to it, and then another 2 beds.
Like bunk beds?
Yeah, and then there's 2 bathroom stalls and 1 shower with a door. So that's where I was in RNO with Ruby.
And it's just a big open room.
Mm-hmm. And then it's like it's a huge like housing unit, and it's max. I was in max when I first hit the prison.
And that's where they are.
That's where Ruby was. Jodi was all in low side 6 at the time, in RNO in low side 6 in a different section.
What does low side mean?
Low side. So when you go to prison, there's high side and low side. It's called Del. So there's Del low side, Del high side. Del high side is the max. Like high side 3 is max, and low side is where like population is. Like, well, I guess you could say high side has population too, but that's privileged people too.
Now, do you know why they were on 2 separate sides?
No, at first, Ruby said that she couldn't be housed with her. But when you go to prison or jail, you have like a keep separate on somebody, saying that you cannot, like you don't feel safe or you don't want to be around that person.
Yeah.
Ruby never had to keep separate. They never had to keep separate against each other, which was weird.
Interesting.
They didn't want to be around. Like Ruby wanted nothing to do with Jodi.
Now, we do know that when they first went to prison, Jodi was pulling all of these like medical cards and stuff, like trying to say that she had heart issues and she was in the hospital or medical unit. Like she was kind of all over the place. So might have had something to do with that as well, maybe?
I'm not quite sure so me and Ruby, we taught, like we're obviously locked down in the same cell together 22 hours a day. And
22 hours?
Yeah, 22 hours a day when you first hit the prison. And sometimes they got cut short depending if like there was like an IMS, an emergency in the prison. They would lock us down in our cell for like maybe we'd get out for like an hour, maybe if that. If not, then we'd be locked down the whole time.
And was there 8 of you in there? Like, was it full?
Yes. And they would come bring us breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And you're in there for how many days with her?
I was in there, so I went to prison March 27th, and I didn't get out of RNO until like July something when I started commissary there. So
and she was in there that whole time as well?
In RNO on the high side, yes, we were together for like maybe a month and a half, and then we went to the low side, and she went to a 2-man cell with somebody like across, like downstairs from me, and that's when I was with Jodi for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
So when you first get in this cell and you don't know that who she is, and then you're told, was everybody kind of interested in her case, like wanting to talk to her and know what was going on?
Yeah, because so a lot of people were really interested in like wondering like why she did it and what happened. And she basically, now that I think of it, I feel like Ruby did manipulate me too now. I was thinking about this. And she just said that it was all Jodi. Jodi did it. It was Jodi's fault. She manipulated her. And I just didn't really want, like, I felt like she cried a lot. She did.
Did she?
She cried a lot. She wrote letters to her husband. She wrote letters to her kids. And she would talk to her parents. I think it was on Easter last year she called them. But I know she did talk on the phone a couple times because I would see her standing there.
So how does the phone work? Does she have to leave to go use a phone somewhere?
So when you are locked down and they let us out, people, they would let us out 8-man cells, like maybe 2 at a time, 2 8-man cells at a time. And there's only 6 phones. So we would have to all wait for a phone. And we would only get 30 minutes on the phone and then have to call back again. And usually there's like a long line. But Ruby would just work out all the time, too, if she wasn't on the phone.
Oh, she's working out. Okay. So did you ever get to hear her on those phone calls?
No.
She would just tell you afterwards kind of who it was?
The only time she would like really like express a lot of things was in her letters that people would send her, which is crazy because I don't know why people would do that.
Did she read them to you?
Yeah, she did. Also, like the guys that have sent her letters are like, I'll wait for you till you get out of prison. I love you. And every night, so this is before, I guess they just updated the prison and now everybody has a tablet in the female side.
I heard that. What?
When I was
You didn't have electronics in there before?
We did. We had one tablet per like each. So there was 2 tablets to like a little cubicle.
Okay.
But now they all each have their own tablet. So now everybody can make phone calls in their little cubicles now and use it and just be on it, which is crazy because when I was there,
So like internet?
you can get on the internet. Like you can do like commissary and you can take like a course online because Ruby was taking like some engineer course or something. I remember her doing that, laying down all the time.
So you can make phone calls on this now. So if she wanted to, she could just randomly call someone and it's not screened or something like?
No, I believe it is. It's still recorded. But so before when they would send like letters to the prison,
yeah,
they would like, they would usually get like mail delivered around like 3 or 4 p.m., 5 p.m. But the guards wouldn't get to us until like midnight. So every night, Ruby would just get a letter from guys all over the place. And some hate letters.
Oh, that's it. Now, did she ever share her family letters with you?
No.
Did she ever get any family letters that you know of?
Not that I know of. She had like, I posted a video of like the little prison bag they gave me that I still have all my paperwork in. She had that at the end of her bed with letters. So she would throw away some letters from guys that were like hateful and rude, but some letters I felt like she still kept. I don't know why.
So give us some examples of some of the letters she did share with you.
So she shared with us this one night. I want to say this guy, I forgot this guy's name, but he was from like Oregon or something. And he was just like, I've seen your YouTube show. I just want to say I love you so much. And I can't wait for you to get out. I hope you respond back to me. Like, you're going to get through this. Like, people just saying that they feel bad for her, but she's going to get through this and they'll wait for her. And they sent her pictures. So I always wondered if guys actually put money on her books at the time.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, because the amount of letters she received in prison every day, daily, was ridiculous from people.
Really? I didn't even think of that. Is she responding to them? Do you know?
I want to say she probably has because she did. And when we were together, she was like writing all the time and like studying or trying to just keep busy.
Yeah.
I feel like she did respond back to people. I mean,
did she talk about her case to you guys and what she did?
She talked about how she did talk about it, but like the way she said it was, she tried to like avoid questions really.
Yeah.
So, like, when somebody like tried to talk to her about it, she would like say something and that she just loved her kids and her husband and she didn't want him to leave him. Like, no, she didn't want him to leave her. I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
And that was basically it. But then as people like started like bullying her, saying like if she couldn't, like why couldn't her kids eat, but she can eat, and why is she doing this? when she did this to her kids, she would start crying.
Oh. So the 8 people that you were in with, you guys were even saying those things to her?
So it was hard. It's hard living with people when you're in like a certain living situation.
Yeah.
Especially for me, because I didn't want to get like mixed up in everything that happened.
Yeah.
Like that goes on in prison, because I knew I wanted to get home. And I knew that if I did anything, said anything, that would like stop me from going home. So like when people would like pick on her or just say things to her, like I of course just laughed or smirked about it and just kept going on about my day, because people don't like her there.
So you would like get written up or something like that probably if you got in trouble?
So I'm going to tell you this, like, I'm going to skip to this one part about Jodi.
Yeah, go ahead.
She moved out of the cell I was in. So the cell, when I first went to the low side 6 with Jodi, she was sitting on her bed and she like smiled and introduced herself as Jodi. And like, I just looked at her, and then she told me that I couldn't swear or listen to music out loud. So in prison, I had like a group of friends with me, and I was like, she's saying that I can't do this. And I just said, I'm not going to listen to her. They ended up telling her that she doesn't run things in there and that she needs to like leave. And so Jodi went and told them that she felt unsafe. Felt unsafe. Other females, like from another 8-man cell and the 8-man cell I was in, were starting to steal all of Jodi's stuff.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And so when the cop came to like get her stuff, the cop was like, where's all this stuff that's missing? And I was like, I don't know. I didn't take anything of hers. Because in prison, like no matter what somebody did, what charge they have, you don't steal in prison. Like that's one thing you don't do.
Okay.
And so when they stole like some candy of hers, the guard was like, I'm going to go back and look at the cameras. And if you stole candy, I'm going to charge you with it. I was like, okay, yeah, we're not doing this.
Okay. First of all, I love that they're being held accountable in there and that people know what they did to their kids and what Jodi did to Ruby's kids. Okay, so let's go back to you being in Ruby's cell. So you were in there for about a month with Ruby?
Yeah, I would say like a month and a half, because then I went to the low side.
And that would have been, she was already in prison for a while, right? If you got, did you say you were in March?
I went to prison in March, so she was already there. I don't know how long she was already there for, but she was there.
Okay, so she was in there and probably knowing some of these other people, and then you arrive and she's still in there crying and getting emotional and stuff like that?
Yes. She also, so when like they would bring us food, she would just eat fruit. She would save all her trays though. So people would also tell her like, oh, you're not eating because you didn't feed your kids now. It was yeah, and she gets told a lot of things. It's crazy in there.
Do you think she wasn't eating her food because of what the food was? Like, was she worried about the food? Is that why she was only eating the fruit?
No. So I feel like the reason why she wasn't eating is because, I mean, maybe this is just my perspective, but I feel like she just didn't want to eat because she was being told, like, how are you eating? And you didn't kids and you abused your kids and you're doing all this in here trying to live life like comfortable.
So everyone in there is drawing attention to what she did to her kids and how they were being starved. So she's feeling guilty and like, I better not eat in front of people.
Yes. And then I think I posted about how I used her color pencils one time.
Yeah.
Me and the girls in there used her color pencils and she got so upset about it. I was like, okay, we're not doing this. Here's your stupid color pencils.
How do you guys get stuff in there?
It's called, so in the video I posted, it's called UCI. It's commissary. That's how we order. Oh, somebody just messaged me from prison.
Ooh, haha. Hi, everyone.
So you can just order like commissary. They have like a little warehouse because that's where I worked, making $70. It was ridiculous.
And they have like more than just food and like stuff like that. You can get like.
They have chips, they have soda, they have candy. And then we have like where we can order like sweatpants and shirts and like little slides. Okay. Yeah.
So the main stuff she was getting was like writing utensils because of all the writing she was doing in there?
And hygiene. Because at that time we can only order hygiene when we were in RNO.
Oh, okay. Because that's not your set room yet, right? This is like a holding cell?
So in RNO, we can only order, I think it was up to like $40, $50 of hygiene. But since we were there for so long and we'd only eat 3 times a day, the warden, he's like, okay, we're going to let you guys order food now back here. So then he put like a $80 limit where we can order food now in RNO.
Okay. And we know from a phone call that Ruby Frankie had, she was contacting her family asking like who's putting money in for commissary. Like I know she asked her husband Kevin, or she wanted her brother Bo to put money in there. So we were kind of wondering how that worked.
I always wondered like who put money on her books, but she always ordered commissary every week.
So she had lots.
Yeah, she always ordered food. She always ordered every week. Her and Jodi both ordered every week.
So you're in there with her for about a month, and then where do you get moved next?
I got moved to low side 6 with Jodi for like the 5-10 minutes.
Ruby stayed in that?
No, Ruby. So all of us in that 8-man cell moved to the low side.
Oh, at the same time.
Yeah, at the same time. We all packed up our stuff, and then Ruby went to a 2-man cell, and then I went to the 8-man cell with Jodi.
And you're in the same unit?
Yes, we're in the same housing unit, the low side 6. And at that time, so before like Jodi ended up saying she didn't feel safe, she ended up passing out the trays to all of the cells in there.
Okay.
Ruby obviously still told me hi. She obviously said hi to me. And she would come to our door, and I would see like Jodi just standing down like by the food thing, just staring at her.
So Ruby and Jodi were in the same unit and could converse if they wanted to.
If they wanted to, yes.
So Ruby's in with one person and Jodi's in with 6 of you?
Yes.
That's crazy. That is crazy to me. How many rooms are in there in that unit? Like, is there a lot?
So there is, on one side of the wall, there is 4 8-man cells on one side. And then on the other side, there's 2-man cells on the top and the bottom. And then
is this the same setup where you're locked in your room until a certain hour and you're only allowed out at certain times? But your room and Ruby's room, would you be allowed out at the same time?
No. So sometimes they would, but sometimes they wouldn't.
Okay.
Like, it just depends. They would go by like who went out last or who went out first, just depending on how.
And when you go out, is it just like the general space outside?
Yeah, and the little rec yard we had where we can go outside. But yeah, it wasn't special.
So Ruby and Jodi technically weren't together that much then?
Not up until I was going to leave prison. She ended up moving into the same housing, like the same section as Ruby.
The same room?
Yeah, not the same room, but the same housing, like section, like the whole unit, like this little room. Not like the room, but she moved to low side 5, and that's where Ruby was housed before I left prison.
Okay.
So she went to low side 5.
So before I skip too far ahead here, so when you're in the same cell as Jodi, as soon as you got in, did you know who she was?
Yes, she does not look the way she looks on like her other pictures. Like out here, like a therapist, I would have never believed she was a therapist.
What does she look like right now?
She looks, I want to say scary, because she just, I don't know, like she wears earplugs all the time. Her hair's short, and the way she puts her shoes on, like she doesn't like put them on all the way on the back of the heel. She just puts them on.
She's too lazy.
Yeah, she's too lazy. And then she just rolls up her pants to like almost by her knee. And it's just, I don't even know with her.
It sounds like she's a wreck right now.
She is a wreck. And like
when you say she's got earplugs in, you don't mean like AirPods. You mean like actual noise canceling?
Yeah, like actual noise ones, because she wore those every day, even in commissary. I'm like, I just don't understand. I mean, I would if I was her too, trying to ignore all the hate comments in prison.
Does she get more hate than Ruby?
I want to say they both get the same hate. Maybe Jodi gets a little bit more from certain people. It just all depends. You could get hate from.
Was Jodi ever crying in there?
I never seen Jodi cry, but Jodi, she only showered in the morning.
Oh, I saw one of your videos about this. She didn't want to shower with the rest of you, correct?
Yeah. So, when I moved to population, I was in the same like housing unit as Jodi, but I didn't end up moving to like the same cubicle as her.
Okay.
Like the last maybe couple months before I left prison, maybe like 2.5 months before I left prison, I moved into the same cubicle as her.
Okay.
So she would work out in the morning after like
Jodi was working out as well?
Yeah, she would also pray. She prays in the morning a lot. So
she wakes up and starts praying right away?
Mm-hmm. And then she'll go shower like at 4 a.m. when nobody's awake.
Oh, she's waking up like middle of the night kind of thing?
Yeah, middle of the night. And For how much money you would think she made or how much she would have, she doesn't. I mean, I guess you don't have to live that good in prison, but if you're going to be there for a while, I would definitely recommend living a good life in there.
Or trying to.
Yeah, or trying to.
So she's waking up at like 3 or 4, praying, and then she goes and showers at like 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And then what?
And then she goes back to her little cubicle, her room. She'll make her bed, and then she will, I don't know what she will do. I'll like end up falling back asleep, and then I'll end up getting ready for work, and then we'll end up going to work together because she worked at commissary.
Were they both working in there, Ruby and Jodi?
Ruby works in the kitchen.
Do you have to work when you're in there, or do you choose to?
No, I chose to. It kept my mind busy.
So they didn't have to work. They're choosing to as well. Okay. So she was working with you in the commissary.
Yeah, she's slow.
Did you I saw your video on that. Did you have to talk to people? Like, do people come to commissary and get the stuff, or do you just stock things, or
so you order commissary every Sunday.
Okay.
And usually you're supposed to get commissary out by like Thursday, depending. We also do Gunnison prison and another county. So the prison does a lot of commissary.
Okay.
So, we do orders on Sunday, and then there's like a little line, a production line where like we like the store owners, like I was a store owner at the time, and we just load like whatever they ordered, and then we'd pass it down the line, and she would bag or scan. And she was in the store, but she was just so slow.
And did you talk to her while you guys were in there?
I did. I asked her one day. I think I had to like yell at her like 4 times because she couldn't hear me because they were also playing music. I was like, Jodi, and she just ignored me. And then finally she heard me, and I was like, are your teeth? Looked at me, and everybody's just looking at me. They're like, what'd you ask her? I was like, if her teeth are real or fake. And she's like, they're real. I've spent thousands of dollars on them. I was like, okay, cool. That's all I was asking. Like, that's all I need to know from you. They look fake, but...
So did you try and talk to her when you were in the room? Like, obviously she's not commuting with you or conversing with you when you're at work.
When we like were in the cubicle, when we had to do count, she would stand like right next to me, because when they come in and do count, we stand next to our wall. We say our last name, our offender number.
Okay.
And she would just sit there and like whisper her offender number, and then she would talk about something on the TV, and I would just ignore her. I just could not handle her because she just plays stupid. Right now, she's playing stupid in prison. Like, she doesn't do anything. Like, she didn't do anything wrong. So I just really tried to not just talk to her because she's
not taking accountability of anything she did. Did she try and convince you guys to become Mormon, or are you Mormon?
So no, I am not Mormon, but I'm gonna go jump back into Ruby. So when I was with Ruby, they have in prison like this packets that you can like fill out and just work on, like about motivation and just I wish I would have kept it. It was
like Mormon Bible packets, kind of things.
Yeah, like LDS packets that you could do. There was like 3 of them that you could do at a time. You could send them to the board. So Ruby, she would do those every day, every week. She would turn them in.
Oh, because they're all new when they get dropped off, like Bible studies.
Back to the mail, yes. You get another one to complete, and you send it into the board. So she did do that. And Ruby also like talked me into it. She's like, you should do it, Brianna. It'll look good for the board. So I ended up writing the mail people in prison, and I ended up getting the packets. I did nothing with them. I didn't even care. I was like, what the heck am I even listening to her for?
What was in it? Like, was there a Bible in it?
It was like, yes, there was like some sayings in there, and it asked you questions, and it gave you like stuff to work on.
Okay.
And I looked at it. You wanted to like circle 3 of them from one topic. She was like, you should do this one. And I'm sitting there like looking at it. I pulled them out probably once or twice, threw them away because I just didn't care for them. But she did them.
And she was doing these every day.
Yeah, she was turning them in. She's like, it will look good for the board. So I was like, okay, I never did it.
Was she trying to like convince you to become Mormon, like preaching her religion at all?
I would want to say yes, because she was like, it gives you something to do. You look busy. The board will think that looks good for you. Like, you'll be out. And so I was like, that's why I think she was manipulating me the whole time.
Yeah. Doing it in a roundabout way.
Yeah, she would talk or ask questions, and I wouldn't really go into detail with her because I didn't want to. Like, people hide their pictures from their kids in prison. Like, they don't want them to take pictures of their own kids.
Yeah.
So I didn't really.
Do you know if she had pictures of her family at all?
I don't want to say no.
Yeah. Now, when you were in with Jodi, was she doing those packets as well?
No, she was actually reading her Bible and she was writing in a notebook because you can buy a notebook from prison on commissary. I want to show you guys a piece of paper. Like, I want to do her handwriting and how she would do her little handwriting in each page. She would write every day in this little notebook she had, and the columns she would write was just ridiculous. I don't know if she didn't want people to see them. What a piece of paper.
Yeah, go right ahead. Guys, if you were just joining, this is Brianna. Brianna was in prison with Ruby and Jodi. She was in with Ruby first, then with Jodi, and then kind of both of them at different times. So she's giving us her experience kind of in there, and we will come to questions and stuff after. I had a lot of people share some stuff they want to know, but we're just getting the gist of it here first.
Okay, so I found a piece of paper. I actually still have I have all my prison paperwork right here that I just got. And
for anyone just joining, I also got Brianna to send me her prison paperwork. So I've reviewed everything that Brianna sent. I can show you guys here, or she can in a few minutes, but I had all the documentation of when Brianna was in prison, what prison she was in, her prison number, etc.
So Jodi, when she writes in her notebook, like the columns are so ridiculous. I'm going to try to write something fast, but she writes so little, like she could fit like 3 lines into one little thing.
I'm going to throw this out, Brianna, because this shows how naive I am when it comes to prison systems. I would have had no idea that in prison, like especially in the max area you're talking about, that you'd be allowed like pencils or pens, or like I'd be picturing some crazy person using them as shivs or something.
So I actually have a foot, like before I went to prison, I was scared. I posted just a video not too long ago. I called my dad when I first got back to county, and I was like, Dad, they're sending me to prison. I started bawling, and he's like, why are you crying now? You knew what you were doing before. He's like, you don't listen. And yeah, but Jodi writes, hopefully you guys can see it. She writes that small, but she'll fit like 3 or 4 lines into one thing.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And
she's probably all paranoid.
Yeah. And she locks all her stuff up now because
How do you lock it up?
We get in prison these little boxes. They're little black tote things that come a lock. But sometimes you won't even get them because.
So she's got her candy all in that now.
Yeah, the one people stole from her.
So did anyone ever ask her about the case, or did she ever freely talk about the case with anyone?
Jodi, she keeps herself very busy. Like in prison, you can go to like church, you can go to AA. Like they have like a main yard. People can go to school, classes, and do all this stuff. Jodi kept herself busy. She would go to church. She would go to anything that would keep her busy after work or before work or during work. She never just stood in one place.
And if she was getting kind of bullied, you said?
Yes, at one point. So in prison, people would say PC'd up, protective custody. When I was still in RNO and Jodi moved to a different, when she said that she didn't feel safe.
Yeah.
Someone ended up saying that her and Ruby, because then that's when Ruby went to population as well. When I was still waiting to go to population, they said that her and Jodi PC'd up because of how scared they were.
Okay. So do you get special treatment when that's the case?
No. You just get moved to a different, like you just go to another housing in there, and it's either you go out by yourself for an hour, you go on TRO, like it's just, TRO is just like where you get out for 15 minutes a day or every other day. I forgot how it works.
Did you ever see the two of them together?
No.
So you've never seen them talking or together at all?
I just seen them like in the same like section, but not like talking. Because Ruby always tried to like avoid Jodi, but then I feel like they tried to like follow Ruby, and it was just her like. I felt like Jodi just wanted to like still be involved in Ruby's life somehow, like talk to her and see how she's doing, but Ruby wanted nothing to do with that.
Okay, that's interesting, because we know that Ruby tried to come out and say exactly what you were saying, that Jodi kind of made her do this, or she, she was following Jodi and shouldn't have. But we were wondering if it was all just kind of face value for her sentencing, and if they were actually still friends and in communication in prison.
Oh, sorry. What did you say? I was just reading some people's comments.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. No, I was just saying everybody was wondering if her speech during sentencing, where she said, this was all Jodi and now she sees the light and she's moved away from Jodi and things like that, if that was actually true, or if she really was, you know, still in contact and worshiping Jodi in prison.
I feel like, so the other day, my friend said that they're still in the same section. I haven't heard from her, but I want to like ask her, because when you are in population, you could go to the same like church, like you could go to church together. We can all go to like meet up with each other at whatever, like they're doing a class or like church AA. We can all meet up with each other. I feel like somehow or some way they do have talked.
Okay, so you think they probably have?
Yeah, just because of how like persistent Jodi was. Like she would always just stare at her and just the way she is. But then again, I feel like they both manipulate people, so.
Well, yeah. Now, we saw a picture leaked a while ago of Ruby Frankie doing yoga. Was that legit?
Somebody actually sent me that picture.
Do you think that's legit?
I want to say no, because I feel like who would have leaked a picture unless it was one of the guards?
Okay.
Because you are in like doing yoga, or like when say like I did go to yoga a couple times, but when you're doing yoga, it's one of the inmates who's actually doing the yoga class.
Okay.
It's just one guard in there that's monitoring the yoga class. So I feel like that is not her.
And these people now that have all these tablets, you can't take or send pictures with those?
No. You can receive pictures. Or no, I actually don't know. Let me rephrase that, because I don't know. I know you can video call on them, but I don't know about anything else. I haven't really gotten into detail with that because I've been working the last couple of days, and I did get into an account that I have, but it's not like letting me do anything else with it. So I don't know for sure.
Okay. When you got the picture, did you look at the background? Did you recognize the background in the picture?
No, I did not. That's why the background, because in prison, unless all of a sudden they came up with black leggings or black clothes that inmates can wear, I am lost. Because
okay, good point.
Yeah, because in prison we're basically wearing a white like Champion shirt, or I forgot what brand it is, a Walmart brand I think, and we're wearing like gym shorts. Like it's not how people are seeing that picture.
You're not wearing yoga clothes.
Yeah, you're not wearing yoga clothes.
Interesting. I was wondering if that was legit.
Yeah, I seen that and I just couldn't, like I kept looking at it and I was like, that can't be it, because when we're all in there, like, yeah, you can cut up your shirts, your silver shirts, unless people dye their shirts with the Kool-Aid, but that's not black. It would be like blue or orange, you know? So
yeah. Oh, yeah. Good point, actually. I didn't even think of the clothing she was wearing in that, but you can do yoga in there, technically.
You can. I would say people who are there for a very long time, or going to do a very long time, are usually the people that are teaching the yoga classes.
Okay.
That's who ends up teaching classes in there.
So did either Ruby or Jodi ever get into conflict with the other girls? Like, did any of the other girls try and like fight them or?
No. So in prison, if you like get into like any trouble with them, I think it's like a hate crime. I forgot what they said, but like if you was to like say if somebody was to beat up Jodi or Ruby,
yep,
you would get charged with it, because obviously they're going to tell on you.
Yeah.
And for two, you're going to end up getting charged because these people are there for people crimes.
Right. So it's basically just a lot of verbal harassment then?
Yeah, a lot of verbal harassment.
Like nonstop? Like anytime they're seen, like nobody's kind of befriending them?
Yeah. Sometimes people do, some of the other lifers in prison do sit there and hang out with Jodi or Ruby. Like when we worked in commissary, we'd go to the chow hall. That's what it's called, chow hall.
That's where you go to eat?
Yeah, so we'd go to eat and we'd line up and we'd grab our tray and we'd go sit down. But Jodi was always like sitting by herself, or she would go with other lifers who have already been doing a lot of time there. She would go sit with them.
Okay. What about Ruby?
Ruby, I would just see her in the back in culinary working. Like,
right. You said she worked in the kitchen.
Yeah, she works in the kitchen. So I would just see her pushing the cart out to like take to like the R&O people.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Because when you're in R&O, you don't go to the chow?
No, you're locked down all day.
Okay. So when you were in with Ruby, the two of you ate in that cell then?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that makes more sense then.
And then she would also she also showed other inmates in our cell how to like do the sock curls. She would like do them in their hair.
Yes.
And then she would cut somebody's hair in there. And
Ruby would?
Yeah, and then somebody would cut her hair in there. So Ruby's hair is like really short.
Like shoulder length?
Probably like, she did like some layers the last time we were housed together. She did layers. And that's where she would like, I mean, I know crop tops, right? Because I wear a lot of crop tops. They're cute. She would cut down her prison clothes to work out in, to make them like little crop tops and work out.
And you can do that? You don't get in trouble when you cut your clothes?
You can get in trouble. It's called, I forgot what it's called, but you can get a write-up for like destroying your own property or whatever.
Okay. Do you know if either of them have write-ups yet?
No. I feel like they're too goody goods. Way too good. Especially before I left prison. Like, I feel like they really had no interactions. Like, just like my friend said the other day, they walk with their heads still down.
Okay.
Jodi still carries her Bible around, and they don't really, it's kind of, I don't know.
I know.
I don't know.
Now, did Jodi ever act possessed in there?
No.
Did you see those videos of her?
Oh no, Jodi. That's why I'm saying Jodi is playing so stupid. Like, I don't know why she thinks playing stupid is going to benefit her in any way or form with the board, but no, she did tell this. I think I called her Sarah in the video that I posted before I moved into that cell with Jodi. Jodi was like manipulating the whole cell, saying, well, she manipulated one person specifically, that her mom didn't love her and that she was possessed in a demon. So this girl cut off all contact with her mom because her mom wasn't putting money on her books or something, and her mom ended up sleeping with her daughter's boyfriend or something.
Oh, geez.
So Jodi said that her mom was possessed and hated her and all this stuff. So once like Jodi left the room, the girl was like, I'm so glad she's out of here. Like, I stopped talking to my mom. I was like, well, why would you listen to Jodi out of all people, especially her?
Oh my God. So she's still life coaching people in prison.
Yes, she is. And like, when Jodi did introduce herself saying like the no music thing, I was like, yeah, we're not doing this. Like,
yeah, I bet.
I don't care what you say. You don't run things in here. So.
Oh my God. So Jodi is showering and like cleaning herself and stuff in there, because there was people wondering if she was keeping up with hygiene.
Yes. So in prison we can like order like Pantene conditioner and another brand. Like I liked prison time like a lot better, like commissary wise and time wise. Because county, you really can't do much in county, but in prison you can do things in there, like go to school and stuff. But yeah, she is, but she just looks, she doesn't really, she like showers and stuff, but she just looks like, I want to say like a zombie. Like she just has no energy to be there. Like she's barely wanting to do anything, or she's just trying to do things. So she's distracted and she doesn't have to be around and hear everything from everybody.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah. And is Ruby similar to that now, or do you find she's being more social?
I would want to say that she's being more social, because whenever like I would come out to the yard, the rec yard, low side 5 was next to my section. So I would come out and Ruby would ask me how I was. She's like, that's good that you're really doing good. And I was like, yeah, thanks. Like I get out in a couple months. And she's like, that's good. Just stay out, you know.
Did she ever talk about when she suspects she's going to get out?
She was hoping that she doesn't do like the whole 30 years. Like she's hoping that she, like with the time cuts and like whatever she's doing in prison, like any classes or schoolwork or any engineer thing she's doing.
Yes. That
she could get any time cuts. But if you get like into any trouble, any write-ups, like the biggest write-up right now in the prison is called an A13, and that's a date puller. So you can get your date pulled. So say if she got into any conflict with any of the other inmates, and if she was wanting to get a time cut, she couldn't do it. She couldn't get it because she got a write-up.
Okay. So she's doing things specifically to make herself look good so she can get out early.
Yes.
And you don't think Jodi's doing the same thing?
Jodi, she is going to like LDS stuff. I remember, so when you're in prison, there's other people that like have been to prison that actually come to the prison that have like organizations and stuff. I remember one time this lady, she came to the prison to our section and she's like, I will be coming by. Like, let me know when you guys are getting out. You guys can work with me. Jodi was in line really waiting to get this girl's information down.
No way.
Yeah, and so me and my friend were standing there, we're like, do you see Jodi really thinking that she's ever going to get out anytime soon, and she's trying to get some lady's information when it has she's a lifer? Like,
she's in complete denial then.
Yes.
So one, she's not taking accountability, and two, she's in complete denial.
Yes. And she talks like really, really low. Like you could barely hear her at all. Like I don't even know. I couldn't even do it because of how low she talks.
I'm getting the impression that she feels like she's better than you guys. So she's just like, don't talk to me. Just
like, okay, that's cool for you. But like in prison, there's like a lot of politics. Like that's why when I first got there, like I didn't know, like when you like engage in talks with people who have certain types of crimes, people think like you're with them on those type of crimes.
Right.
So that's why, like, I only hung out with a certain few. Like, I talked to a lot of people, of course, because I knew a lot of people, but I only hung out with a certain few females in there.
Okay. Did you have, like, in this prison, is there every range of crimes in there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you've got murderers to, like, misdemeanors kind of thing?
Yeah. So in the prison, when you go down, you don't go down on misdemeanor Bs. They only count misdemeanor As in the prison.
What's the difference?
So like how I got charged with the obstruction of justice, I just had to plead to that charge, and then they didn't count it towards like my prison, like nothing happened with it.
Okay.
Like, say if I was to get, I forgot, I have the paperwork for a misdemeanor A. I forgot what it was. Yeah, I really don't know. So like, I guess you can't really see it. This is basically how you get scored in prison and how many points you get. Like people.
Can you read it? Because it's backwards when we look at it.
It says general matrix, criminal history scoring, prior felony convictions, and then it says prior class 8 misdemeanor convictions or supervision history, prior person or firearm convictions, prior juvenile or.
Is your points like higher the worse you've done or something?
I feel like how many times you violate. So since I violated 3 times, that was my 3rd violation. I got 3 points counted as my matrix because I violated already.
So do you know what their points would be?
I would want to say super high. So right here, it tells you the crime category, 1st degree person on a person. I wish I would have sent them to you, but, and it just shows you like how many months you could do. And mine was 14 months on
Okay.
prison.
And then you served, did you say 8?
Yes, because I got early release. They were doing like an early release where you could get up to 90 days out early release. But I didn't really push the process of me getting out up until, I want to say September.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Brianna. Do you mind if we go to the comments and start answering some questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, before we come to the comments, make sure you follow Brianna. She's posting videos all about her experience there. And she has people that are still in that are kind of giving her information when they talk on the phone. Make sure you hit follow on mine as well, because I will definitely be updating with all this stuff. But we're going to come to the comments, guys. So if you have questions that you want me to ask Brianna, she can see them as well. But we'll start going through the questions in case we miss stuff from my post. Oh, somebody just said, did they give gay energy? So could you tell that they weren't even talking to each other? So you wouldn't even be able to tell if they were having a relationship.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell. But like, do they get to see each other? They are still housed in the same section right now, if people are wondering.
And Brianna said that means they're in different rooms where they sleep, so they're not always let out together. Is that correct, Brianna?
No, so right now they're in the same section. Like they get up for breakfast or go to work, whatever they have to do during their own day. They just get up and go. And
at
then
the same time.
Yeah, so it just depends. So like culinary people wake up, I think I want to say at like 5:30 a.m. and then they go to work.
Okay.
And then people in the morning have to go to breakfast at like 6 in the morning. They wake us up to go to breakfast.
So to get your day started.
Yeah, and if you don't go, you get a negative C-no, and once you get so many, you get a write-up.
This is if you don't get up?
Yeah, if you don't get up, and anything little you could get in trouble for in prison.
Somebody just said, did Ruby even seem sorry for what she's done?
No.
You said she cried all the time, but...
Not all the time, but you could still cry every day and still do this, like, still not even care about it. Like,
I think that she's crying because she's in there.
Yeah, I think she's crying because she's in there, and she is one person, like, you could just tell she loved the attention.
A lot of questions are coming in asking if they had visitors. Can you guys have visitors?
When I was there, you could fill out an application online, but you can't have any felonies. You can't be on probation. You can't be on parole. So no, like it just depends. If you don't have like any record, you could go visit people, and you could do. So in RNO, you could do up to, I think it was one virtual visit or 3 a month.
The virtual visit on the tablet?
No, on the kiosk. So when we didn't have our tablets, they would, we had the kiosk in our little housing section, and we'd go on there if we didn't have our tablets, which half the time they would take our tablets away because people wouldn't turn them in and they would take them from us. So we'd have to order commissary on there, but people could do them. I've never seen anybody do the visits. Oh no, they did not do visits on there. Actually, you have to go into a room. Sorry. That was in county that I did that.
So not that you know of, did they have visitors?
No.
Okay.
I don't think anybody visited them unless it was like some of the people who were writing her love letters, which I don't think. Well, now you can actually go on the Getting Out app and you can add a contact. So like say if anybody wanted to go on their iTunes store and get the app and create an account, you could add Jodi or Ruby to your contact list, but they would have to approve you if they wanted to.
To talk?
Yeah, to talk, to like email, send pictures back, because they stopped sending like letters now. I believe that's why they came up with the Getting Out and the video visits. They stopped all letters from the prison.
I can't get over that you guys have tablets in there.
They're really, you can listen to music out loud, but it's like the radio, and you can watch like stuff, like you could do like some quiz thing on there, and then you could get like a movie on there, but like it was like, I forgot what movies. It wasn't really, they play the same 3 movies every day, so it wasn't really that fun.
Do you have TVs in there?
Yeah, so when I went to population, I had my own little TV in my little cubicle, and I would just get off work and then I would shower, eat, and then just watch TV.
Okay. They're asking if either of them talked about the kids at all.
No. Does Ruby have a girlfriend? Sorry if you already answered. No, she doesn't.
Does Jodi?
No. Not that I know of, but I'm pretty sure no, because nobody really, only unless you're a lifer that's doing life in there for maybe the same crime or a different crime in that category, then they're obviously going to want to be with somebody, because there was lifers in there.
Okay.
Mixed with other lifers dating each other, but no.
And you said both of them kind of walk around with their heads down, keeping them to themselves the majority anyway?
Yes. Someone said, did anyone ever argue about who got the tablet? Jodi actually did at one time. I remember on the tablet, she was like, do you know where the tablet's at? I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to watch this movie. And she literally went to the guards and told the guards that her tablet was missing.
Her tablet.
Yes. I was like, nobody cares about your tablet. Because I didn't even know where it was at the time. I was like, I thought I plugged it in. And she was literally went on a mission for this tablet hunt.
And so when she was on the tablet, what do you think she was doing?
She would be on like, you can go on to like on the tablets, like you could get onto like LDS stuff and see things, or like order commissary and listen to music and see like updates about the prison.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's really not that much you could do. She just always was on it to look up stuff on like the church. Does she go to therapy? I don't know. Why did Brianna
trying to give people therapy?
Yeah, she's trying to give people therapy.
You would know, like, if you get, can you get counseling in there?
Yeah, you can. You can.
Would you know, like, if Ruby was leaving for counseling or something like that, would you know that they were doing that?
Some of them come, so like when you have appointments for the prison, like say like if I had a dentist appointment in like 2 days, if I was still there, they would put it out the following night before and tell you what you have that day. And it would tell you that what counselor was coming to see what person in your section. So they come.
So you would know.
Yeah, they would come to your section and you go into like this little room that they have in our section where they keep the tablets.
So did either of them do that while you were there?
No.
Oh, that's kind of discouraging.
I was like, no.
If anybody needs counseling, it's these two.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know how Jodi was a therapist, because I would not trust her with anything I had to say.
Yeah, seriously. A lot of people are asking if they're still friends, but you said that you have never seen them together.
Never seen them together.
Brianna said she's never seen them talk to each other. She said she can imagine that it may happen behind the scenes when they're heading somewhere, but she's never seen them. When you got housed with each of them, did you say to them that you knew them, or did you act clueless of who they were? Good question.
I was actually clueless to who they were.
Oh yeah, you said that you didn't know who she was at first.
At that time, I didn't know, like, I wasn't really on social media. Like, I, of course, was posting on social media, but, like, I wasn't really into social media. I wasn't watching on TikTok. I wasn't on social media like that because I was also on the run. So, like, I was trying to be as low-key as possible. So I have no idea who they were when I went to prison.
That makes sense. This one says, did either of them make friends in prison? You said kind of the lifers Jodi would sit with?
Yes. Okay, so I have this, I wanted to read off. So since, did you see the picture I sent you about the custody assessment? That goes off based off of, I just sent you the top of it. It just tells you how many charges you've had prior to the conviction you have right now.
I did see that.
And how old you are, and that's how they basically score you in prison too. And it tells you like what, let's see. Oh, I guess you can't really see. It just tells you if you, your current age, your stability, if you're on alcohol or drugs, or if you need any programs in there. They have a program in there right now.
What kind of program?
It's called Elevate. It's on the high side. There's 2 sections of it, and you do it for 6 months. You go to therapy, you go to classes and stuff.
You think they're doing it?
No, since they're in they're on low side 5. Low side 5 is a privilege section, and the only way you could get to that section is if you write an essay saying why you think you should go to that section.
Okay.
And I didn't want to write an essay.
Someone just said, did the prisoners hate child abusers?
Yes, they do. Yes.
Brianna said that these 2 are not liked in there. She said everybody hates them and gives them a hard time constantly. Is that correct?
Yes, constantly.
Like just always like chirping at them or what?
Yeah, because in prison, like they hate, like I said before, they hate any child crime in there.
Yeah.
And especially like with Ruby and Jodi, their case, like they get told stuff to every day, but no one actually tries to do anything unless you want to get charged with a crime.
Right. Willow's asking, what were you in prison for?
I'm a recovering addict, so
Good for you for being recovering.
Yeah, this is the longest I've ever been out, doing really good. So I'm just trying to just keep pushing forward because prison is not the place. Like, it was better than county, but to be away from your loved ones, to miss everything up here, it's just being in there. And especially when you're only making 70 cents an hour, it's ridiculous in there. And you can get in trouble for literally anything. Like if you pass a note to somebody in the hallway, you can get written up for it. You get fined.
Everybody's saying how proud they are of you.
Thank you. Yeah, this is the longest I've ever been out. It feels amazing. I love it, actually.
Huge accomplishment.
How did Ruby act after receiving the divorce papers? Ruby, the whole time, she talked about how she did not want to get a divorce. She wanted everything and anything in her like power to save it. She did not want it to happen. She cried.
Because you would have come in after she received the paperwork, because he filed paperwork in November. Kevin did, her husband. So she would have already received the divorce paperwork. So did she talk about it a lot?
She just said she didn't want to divorce him. Like, she just loves him so much, and she wished that she could go back and take whatever happened and just be out of prison. But it sucks for her kids because that's unfortunate.
Here's a question I have, and I know you probably won't know, but are you able to get books and read them online?
Yes, you are. Yes.
Do you know if she's read her daughter's book?
I would want to say yes.
We need to find out. You need to find out. Get someone on the inside, Brianna, to find that out.
So the thing is with me, like when they call my phone, it's either I'm at work, but I don't know how to record it without having like another device. because I tried to record it the other day, and I was like, can you believe people really think that I wasn't housed with these people? Like, that I'm making all this up? And she's like, that's funny. She's like, because you were in here and you literally lived with them. I was like, I know.
Yeah, I don't know how you record it. But
Um,
that's probably the number one question people have. That, and if she's able to watch the documentary, but you probably can't watch documentaries and stuff.
The documentary, or I wanted to say something did come on the news about them one time in prison.
Can you watch the news?
Yeah, you can watch the news in prison.
Okay.
Like, it comes on the 2 TVs or your own little TV you have.
Mm-hmm.
So I did want to say that at one point something came on and Jodi or Ruby ended up having the guards change it because they didn't want it to be on playing on like on there, which people knew about.
Yeah, I would love to know if she's read Sherry's book or watched any of the documentary, I guess, at all. What was it like a night in there, someone says?
At night. So usually I would get up, go to work at 6 in the morning, and then I would get off at 3 o'clock because it's called movement. So whenever you want to move somewhere in the prison, it has to be like a scheduled time. And it's called movement. So whenever they call movement, that's when you get to move around the prison and go to like the chapel, go to classes. And so at night, like whenever I'd get off, you could attend AA meetings. Sometimes I would go with my friends. We just all go, or they have like this little computer room thing where you can like type up like your family history stuff.
Okay.
And stuff like that. But it's
Is there like a Christian chapel and an LDS chapel and like, or is it just one chapel?
They have like 2 chapels there, but it was for like 2 different, like maybe like a different occasion, but it's just, you just go to one.
Okay. So there's nobody that comes in and does like sermons for you guys or anything?
There was some people who would come in, but
You do sermons?
what? Sorry?
Is she doing any sermons?
No.
Okay, that's good. That's very good.
Anybody wants to listen to her other than when that girl was like, yeah, my mom's possessed. Like, whenever like Jodi would try to talk, like I said, I would just ignore her half of the time because she just plays stupid. I don't have time to just sit there and look at her stupid.
Yeah. Now, are the 2 of them, do you find that they're scared at all in there? Like, are they
I would
nervous?
say Jodi is.
Oh, okay.
How she told the guards she felt unsafe and then her candy got stolen. I would say she feels probably like the unsafest there.
Were you in there? Oh, no, I think this was earlier on because she was moved to medical like a few times. Jodi was. You were probably not in. Yeah, I think it was before you were admitted.
Yeah, I was in a different. Yeah, I think it was before that because I had that pause on my transport. I don't even know what days they went to prison. See, that's how much I didn't know anything about them.
Yeah, they were in there, I think, quite a bit before. They were arrested in August and they were taken somewhere, probably jail first, right?
Yeah, you first go to jail and then you wait to get sentenced. And then, like I said earlier, they only do transports once a week.
Okay, that makes more sense. How long has it been since you've been out? Someone just asked.
I have been out officially on the 15th of this month, 7 months.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So you've been sober for 7 months. Oh, no, be longer than that.
It's been longer than that. So I got picked up last year, February 22nd. From from alcohol, I can say that I did use in November. So anything else, it's been a year.
Good for you. That's a huge accomplishment, Brianna. Someone just said, how did you react when you found out what they had done?
I was just shocked. Like, who could ever do that? Like, it's just heartbreaking, especially because, I mean, I really don't want to go that much into detail about things, but like on my end, but it's just sad because I feel like children, it's not their fault, like regardless, like I've battled through my own addiction. I have done things like, not like what they have done, but I have done things to hurt people. And for that, like, it sucks having to like rebuild connections with people because you don't know how to feel or how they're going to feel. And it just sucks. But I feel like that's just my point of view.
I know. It's so much worse, especially for a prison with a bunch of women, that it's crimes against children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the one that told you what they did? I'm not going to say their names, but it was my friend that was out here. Like, I knew a lot. I still know a lot of people in the prison right now. Like, I still know a very good amount of people in there. So
You probably made a lot of friends in there.
yeah, I did. And especially because, like, when you first go to prison, it's not like how it really seems, like on the TV shows.
Yeah.
I mean, people do say, like, because I'm not going to lie, like, when I was in there, I did have a girlfriend. So, like, where was I going with that? I just got confused.
Just wanted to let us know.
Yeah, I just got confused.
You said it wasn't like it is on TV.
Oh, yeah, it's really not, because it's not like people fight. I mean, people do fight in there, and people do argue over the littlest things. But unless you really want to be in prison and you don't want to get home to your family members or anybody you have out here, you would just stay there. You would just do whatever, fight, beat up anybody you wanted to.
That's crazy.
And in there, people get very upset about, like, if you owe somebody money. And, like, they have stores. Obviously, people have stores in there. You can buy, like, 2 for $1, like a bag of chips. You just buy them back 2 more.
Oh, like paying back people?
Yeah.
Okay. Do the lift... Wait, oh, I don't know what that meant. Did they ever seem like they were scared of each other?
I want to say Ruby played like she, like, didn't know who she was, or like she wanted to act like she didn't know who Jodi was. Like you know, when people try to pretend like they don't know who you are, they would try to walk past you.
Yeah.
That's how they try to play it off. Like, they try to ignore each other, but when you're in prison and if you're in the same section, you're bound to run into that same person, regardless if it's over the bathroom stall or if you left your dish right there on the sink. It's really anything little you could get into an argument in prison about.
Okay. Someone else just said, did they ever complain?
I want to no. No, they didn't really. Jodi only had complained about the tablets.
Oh, right.
And she really just kept to herself. And she does, like, she eats, like, I'm going to say what she eats all the time. She does eat from, like, chow, but, like, when she gets back to the unit, she'll make, like, a quesadilla. And then she'll eat, like, Cheerios, or she will eat club crackers. That's, like, her number one go-to on commissary, is just ordering that stuff.
Ruby's eldest son, Chad Frankie, I would say his number one thing that he likes to do to make fun of Jodi is to talk about her eating.
Yeah, and it's like when she eats like one little thing. Like when she made quesadillas in there, she'll make like one little one, eat it, and then she'll be done. And I don't know. Like, she's super skinny. Like, I'm telling you, like,
Jodi is?
She has lost a lot of weight from the picture that, like, her being a therapist to when I left prison. She is super, super skinny. Like, her
wow.
face. She looks.
What about Ruby?
Ruby is skinny. Like, she wears her little crop tops, her shirts, her little tank tops, her hair. She
has lost weight too then.
Someone said, how did I get caught? I got caught from being at a trap house in a raid.
Did you ever see what Ruby was writing?
No. So whenever she wrote, she was always on her top bunk.
Oh, smart.
She always kept, like, whenever I did ask her to, like, show me, like, the guys, like, the letters and what address it was from, like, where they were coming from, she's like, no, Brianna. And she would, like, rip them up. I was like, okay. Like, people would send her postcards of, like, butterflies, and
God.
She would rip them up and throw them away, but I would never see what she was writing because she stayed on her bunk. Or she would always, whenever we had the rec time, she would always, if she wasn't working out or she wasn't outside, she would be, like, writing.
Do you know if Jodi has people that are writing her as well?
Yeah, she does. She has a lot of hate ones, too.
Okay, the hate ones I'm okay with, but it's
I don't think she has any loved ones because when we're in the same cubicle, like, the guards obviously came at night and dropped us off our mail. And he would, like, put it on her table, like her little desk thing, not table, whatever it is. Do they talk to anyone? Do they get visitors? They talk to people, but only the lifers. It all just depends on who it is.
No, she answered about visitors. She said that she doesn't know of anyone visiting them.
I don't think anybody's visiting them.
Did they ever write to their kids? You didn't know who she was really writing to, right?
I know she was writing to her husband. Like, she was. She would always, literally every day, Ruby was getting letters from the prison. Like, she would get letters every day. She would send out letters every day. Like, there was at one point, like this one time, we couldn't get any envelopes in at the prison. So, like, they were really hard to come by, and Ruby, like, would order a lot at one point and then save them. So, like, whenever somebody else needed an envelope, like, she didn't want to, like, just give it to somebody because she was always sending letters out.
So she must be writing these, she must have pen pals. She's writing these people back.
I believe it, because just for my, like, just because I want to say, when I was in prison, I wish people wrote me when I was in prison, because that feeling when somebody answers your phone call, because I do understand the life gets busy, but now from being like out here, and I didn't answer prison calls for a while, like, I felt bad because I know what it's like to be inside in prison. So whenever she got letters, I was like, when am I going to ever receive a letter from somebody?
It's like when you're a kid and you go to camp and everyone's getting mail around you and you're like, I didn't get any mail.
Ruby always got a letter. I was like, oh, of course.
Now, I know at the beginning she was emailing. She was writing Kevin a lot. And he said he eventually stopped reading it. He didn't want to hear what was in there. And he actually told the guards to get her to stop writing him. And I know for sure she sent Chad a letter. And he said it was one letter and he didn't want to read it and didn't open it. And he's never written her. So.
Sorry, somebody just tried calling me. So it cut off literally by when you said he told the guards. That's all I heard.
Yeah. So Kevin has done like a press conference where he said Ruby used to write him letters and he stopped wanting to hear it anymore. So he asked the guards to get her not to send him letters anymore. And I know she wrote Chad a letter for sure, because Chad said that and said that he didn't want letters from her anymore and he's never written her.
Yeah, so she never received any letters from Kevin or her kids, like anybody. Only the love letters and the hate letters. That's all she has received. And at one point, I do remember about the documentary. Ruby did talk about that. She's like, I don't want him to do it. I was like, well, you really say, so it doesn't really matter what you want. Like, you really wanted nothing. Like, the whole time, she's like, I really don't want to be, like, I don't want it to be out there. Like, it's already out there. You are literally charged because of what you did. There's going to be a documentary and you don't want your husband to be on there.
And it was mainly her family's documentary. Like, it was Kevin, Chad, and Sherry that were on there, and they told their whole side, basically.
Yeah.
No, she's not still married, guys. Kevin filed for divorce and they signed and they've settled now. So he got the house, the land they had. There's no child support going to be paid or anything like that. She got to keep the $85,000 that she had stolen from their bank accounts because it got found at Jodi Hildebrandt. So the police still had that. So it wasn't spent. She's getting to keep that, I'm assuming, as her portion of like the house and stuff like that. So
somebody said, who do you think the love letters are from?
Oh, all the support letters and stuff that they were getting, you mean, guys?
Who do you think? Yeah, it was from a lot of men, like everywhere. It wasn't just from like Oregon. It could have been from like anywhere, really, but she got a lot. It was like story time basically to us in prison. That's what we called it.
Oh, because she would read them all to you guys.
I would be sitting on my top bunk, sitting there. All of the girls would sit there and gather around, and these guys would just talk about how they loved Ruby and they wanted to like wait for her to get out and if she could respond back. So like at one point, the girl that I was in there with, she's like, what's the address? Let me write him back so he could put money on my books. She's like, I'm not giving it to you guys, and she threw it away.
So they're probably paying her. They're probably giving her money.
Oh yeah, I believe it. I believe somehow, some way.
I think she would absolutely love that attention. She would just be thriving off that.
She loves it. Like I said earlier, she loves that attention. Like when I did post a video about how some girl came to like the window and pounded on the window and said that she can't sleep. Like, you could still tell they love the attention in there.
Wait, what was that story? I don't think I watched that one.
So there's a story, I posted it on, it was like a couple videos when I first started posting. In the 8-man cell in RNO, Ruby was sleeping, and other max inmates that were actually maxed because of their points were too high, and that's why they got sent to max. Some max inmates would come by, walk past it, and they would bang on the windows, and they'll be like, how come you can sleep if your kids couldn't do this? Like, you shouldn't be able to sleep. Like, you shouldn't be able to eat. And Ruby would just start crying.
She's probably terrified.
Yeah, and they would like our little cupboards would be open, our cupboards would be open, and that's where the girl would like scream in there and say like she shouldn't be sleeping if her kids couldn't do this or that.
Do you know, like, was that stuff still going on even when you got out?
So when I got out, I want to say, so like I said, they kept busy, and Jodi, if she wasn't doing her classes, which she always was, I feel like I just got confused again.
Oh, you were telling us about how the Max people were like yelling at her and giving her a hard time, and then we said, "Is that still happening, or was that still happening when you got out?"
The Max inmates have like a yard. If they seen her like walk past, if they're out around the same time, they do still say stuff to people in there. Like, it doesn't really matter. You could be in a class, be in church, be at work. Somebody's always going to have something to say about you. Right. Regardless if it's good or bad, it doesn't really matter. People talk. A lot of people talk.
That makes sense. Oh my God, I can't even imagine. Someone just said, do they seem like better people? I guess, how would you know? Because they're not really interacting with you guys.
Yeah, they're not really interacting. They're mostly trying to like look good for the board so they can hopefully get out sometime soon before anything. Somebody said I'm contradicting myself a lot. When you have a lot of stories to talk about, I forget a lot of things.
I don't think you haven't contradicted yourself.
I was there for 7 months. I know people aren't going to believe me, which is fine, but I know I did my time in there, and Ruby and Jodi both talked to me, and I lived with both of them at the same time. Not the same time, but each at one point of time in my prison stay. Is this going to show up backwards?
Yeah, but that's okay. Guys, so just if you just joined, I got Brianna to send me all her documentation from prison so I could go over it all. This is also, that's some of what she sent me. But she had all the documentation, the prison she was in, her prison number, the time she was in there, what she was in for. What?
I got it. I flipped it around.
It doesn't work for us. We're not seeing it.
Oh, dang it. Okay. Yeah. I tell you, I got this picture taken 3/28/24 of last year.
Oh, dang it. I don't really know how to use TikTok, so that's why
it's your first live.
Post.
Are they in a relationship together? They're avoiding each other in there. She said that Jodi basically looks like she wants to talk to Ruby, but Ruby acts like she doesn't exist and just keeps walking past. Does she like the love letters?
Yes, I feel like even if the hate letters she did cry a lot about, but like the attention she was still receiving from people, like how she first started posting and she became like whatever on YouTube, she still loves the attention because it's any little attention you get is something that is going to make her feel good about, because that's the only attention you're going to get, even if it's hateful or not.
Especially what they're writing her. If they're writing her these like supportive letters.
I want to say that.
Got in trouble? No, Brianna said neither of them have gotten in any trouble. They're basically got their heads down, just trying to do their best. Did Jodi ever get possessed? I asked that too. No.
Who seemed more guilty? I would say Jodi. Or Ruby, because I feel like they both manipulated me. Like, Ruby would be like, yeah, don't listen to anything Jodi tells you. Like, she's going to try to say that. She's going to ask you questions and see why you're here and what you like to do and try to just be basically like a therapist. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not. Like, you just manipulated me too.
Have they ever gone crazy in there?
No. You're doing great. Oh, thanks, whoever that was.
I know you're getting lots of support. Guys, if you haven't yet, make sure you hit follow on Brianna's name and follow my account. It's the plus sign on my picture or whoever it works in there. I'll be updating for sure in this case, but Brianna's been posting videos about her experience in there if you want to go check them out. Someone just said, do people get sexually harassed in there?
I want to say, like, obviously, like, for me, I had a whole girlfriend in there. Like, I obviously
dated somebody and stuff, but like
It's mutual, right?
Yeah, it's mutual. Like unless it's like a mutual thing, no, you really don't get harassed. I was actually trying to find like my prison letters that I actually wrote my dad and my sister while I was in prison, and she's like, we threw them away. And I was like, well, why would you do that? Like that is something I would have kept.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure in one of my letters, because in prison, while I was in prison in RNO, I told my sister, I was like, go post on my Facebook that I am in prison with these two. And if they want to know anything, let me know because I have it for them. And she's like, you're so dumb. I was like, no, really, like, I really want you to post that. And she never posted it.
See, people would want to know that, like if you were able to get the inside scoop and stuff.
That's why I like literally told my sister that. And I want to say like another person I called about maybe 4 people. Like I said, while I was in prison, I didn't receive any letters. So that obviously I feel some type of way about it because
I know, right? You're like, hello.
Yeah,
Could have
like,
letters.
The only letters I ever got were from the Board of Pardons, and that was it.
So someone just said, how long are they in for? Guys, that's confusing because of some laws in Utah, but basically we have no idea. Like Brianna said, it's the parole board that's going to decide, and they go in front of the parole board December of 2026, next December.
Yeah, so it all just depends up to the board. Like if they get a time cut, they don't get in trouble. They do what they're supposed to be doing, and it's up to the board. Like the board can literally keep them. It's all just depends. Like every case is different. Just like with my case, it was different. And it just all depends on how much time they have served towards that crime they have too. Because I did about 270 days before they ended up taking me to the prison. Like altogether, I did 270 days in county.
Oh my God. Because they what their sentence is anywhere between 4 years and 30 years. And again, it just depends on the parole board.
Yeah, it all just depends on the parole board. Like anything little you can literally get in trouble for. If I was to pass you a piece of paper in the hallway, I would get in trouble for it.
Did they ever talk about their religion in there? Sort of. I mean, Ruby still does the LDS packets thing. I tried it, couldn't do it. I don't even know why I tried to listen to her. Especially because I don't like to listen. So the fact that I was sitting here entertaining it just makes me laugh because... At least you gave it a shot.
I did give it a shot and I ended up throwing it away. But I wish I would have kept a lot of other paperwork.
Someone said, were they made fun of? Yes. Brianna said that people gave them a hard time all the time. If Ruby, did inmates ever try to fight them? No, because they'd get in more trouble, right?
Yeah, you'd get into more trouble. And for me, it's not worth staying in prison. I've already done my prison, my jail, my rehab stays, and it happened in my life, and I'm glad it happened because everything does happen for a reason. And I feel like it was crazy that I actually went to prison the same time these 2 people were in prison.
Yeah.
In prison. Like it was just crazy for me to actually experience what prison is really like.
Someone just said, did you ever hear either of them talk about truth or distortion? Okay, that was like Jodi's lingo for her crazy.
Yeah, no, she is that like when Jodi talks, like if she was to talk to she wouldn't be talking this loud. She would be literally whispering. It's not, she tries to play it off, and yeah, it's really pathetic how she tries to play it off because you're not stupid. Like, you know what you're doing. I don't know about the book. I haven't seen the book or read anything.
Sherry's book's really good. If you wanted to get kind of an inside scoop of how Ruby was with her family, Sherry's book's really good.
Yeah, so I watched the documentary, and yeah, I did, because I at first wanted to post about it, my prison stuff, and that's why I stopped posting on TikTok for a minute, because I've never really cared about what people have said about me or what they think about me or anything. Like I said, people are going to talk, but I ignored all TikTok. I was just emotional because I didn't know how to feel. Yeah. When you decide to post about what happened or why you were in prison or anything like that, it's not something that you could just brush off your shoulder. Oh, okay. Let me start posting. So that's why I went offline for a bit, because I just didn't want to see all the comments. People are just hateful. And
it gets nasty. You got the trolls. It's inevitable. inevitable.
Yeah, and I just don't understand, like, I mean, I guess it's because I have realized a lot, like, being the way I used to be, like, years ago, like, I would have probably, I don't know, like, if I didn't go to prison, I probably, who knows what would be happening to me right now.
Yeah.
Sad part.
Well,
So
you know what? Everything happens for a reason, and look where you are today because of it.
do the guards like them?
Oh, good question.
I mean, the guards, I would feel like just have to be not like, just keep it casual because it's work, you know? They are guards. So whatever like responsibility they have, I mean, maybe some guards or different guards talk to them more than others. I mean, they get talked. The guards talk to them. The guards talk to anybody at this, like, it really doesn't matter.
But no special treatment.
Yeah, you don't get special treatment in prison.
Good. Oh, someone just said, do they look different? You said they definitely do, right?
Jodi looks different. She is skinny. When I seen her, and then like the whole shoes thing, like, I know you know how to put your shoes on, girl.
She said she puts her feet in, but sits on the backs of them, like she's too lazy to put them on.
Yeah, and then her socks, and then how she puts her pants. Like, I know you know how to get dressed. Come on, get it together, girl.
Yeah. Did Ruby ever call anyone?
She talked to her parents on Easter. I do remember that because with the care packages, I said packet on my videos. It's packages, and I just realized that, but I didn't have time to just go through it. But you can like go to like the UCI on the website and order whoever's in prison a care package.
Oh, did she get a lot of those?
You can only order them 4 times a year. It's seasonal.
Oh.
Yeah, it's only seasonal. So like right now, since it's Easter, you have up until May, like, and that's when you could get a package. But I don't think Ruby or Jodi never received one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they never received one.
So the only way you could give Jodi or Ruby something is by putting money in their commissary?
Yeah, so say like if somebody wanted to order them a package, since somebody already ordered them, if somebody did put in a package order, only one package will get distributed to her.
Okay.
You literally go to UCI right now on the internet and look at the care packages and send somebody one if you really wanted to.
Huh.
Bree, did you break up with your girlfriend? She still calls me. I mean, I would say we're friends. I wouldn't say girlfriend, but we're friends, and I love her still, but I'm doing like, I need to like focus on more of my thing. That's why I also did stop posting on TikTok, but I also wanted to post more because I just wanted to just post a lot more because people are just funny on the internet.
Did Ruby Frankie ever talk about her siblings, like her sisters, like Bonnie, Ellie? No?
No, like like Ruby and Jodi are really like Ruby, she would talk to us, like I said, but like I never really talked to her about like really much of my personal life, just because of what happened to like what she's in there for.
Yeah.
It just all depended, like whenever Ruby did talk to me. And I did talk to, like, we were in the same cell together. So yes, me and Ruby did like talk. She asked me if I was okay. Like, did I sleep good or if I was hungry? And she did ask me if I was hungry. Me and the other girls in that cell. She's like, oh, well, you guys can have this if I don't eat it. So she never, like, that's what people hated the most too. Like, how are you going to offer another inmate food, but yet your kids, like, it's bad. So in there, they can literally get talked about for anything. Even if she was just walking and she looked at somebody like ugly, somebody would say something about it.
Oh, I bet. And did she talk about her kids?
She just said she missed her kids a lot and she wished that she could contact them and like if they would like respond back to her, and she just wants to hear from them and say like she's sorry. So I feel like when she does like write in her like book thing that she does have, she would she would write in there that like how she was sorry. I mean,
yeah,
I would if I know in prison I had like a little thing that I obviously threw away, so it didn't. I mean, I know I should have kept it, but I did write some things in prison and after prison that I still haven't shared anything about, like in my personal life, which I would like at one point, but right now it's just not.
And she's a huge journaler too. That's how we know a lot of the things that she did to her kids was she journaled everything.
Yeah, and when I seen her documentary and how she was telling like her kids how to act, I was like, that is crazy, because in prison, like She did talk me. I feel like she did freaking talk me into that LDS packet stuff. So
True.
it's easy to get talked into something. And so I feel like she told me that Jodi was going to manipulate me. Now that I look back at it, I feel like I was just manipulated by them both. So at this point,
Probably, they probably both are very skilled at it.
it says, how is New Year's in prison? I wasn't in prison for New Year's. I have no idea how prison. I know for my birthday in prison, which it sucks being in jail or prison. My friends did like bake a cake for me, and they did make like our, what we call it, prison, pozole. So they did do that for me, and they did like confetti and stuff. They had like a banner hanging up that said happy birthday.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, prison's a lot better than county, that's for sure. What was your impression of Ruby? I feel like with my first impressions, I usually look at people's like teeth. I'm a really big teeth person. So like whenever I like talk to somebody, I look at their mouth, and if they have nice teeth, then they have nice teeth, because that's something I really look at when I talk to somebody. But maybe that's just me, but I said I thought Jodi's teeth were fake up until she told me they were real. So I was like, oh, that's crazy that I thought they were fake, because her teeth are nice. Like, they have nice teeth, but Ruby was nice. Like, she was nice, and you could play nice and just act nice, but in all reality, you really don't know what somebody really is.
Yeah. Guys, a lot of the questions Brianna's already answered. So what I'm going to do is I will upload this to my YouTube channel. I'll download it tonight, and then I'll upload it so that anyone who didn't get to hear everything, you can go and watch that. So my YouTube channel is just my name on here, The Recap with Julie, or the link's in my bio. But I'll upload the whole thing so you guys can watch it. Someone said, who did you like more?
Ruby? Who did I like more? I would say Ruby, because me and Jodi, Jodi just gave off this weird vibe. Like, she was just a zombie. She played stupid. I didn't like how she acted. I didn't like how she just acted like she didn't know she was in fucking prison. I feel like that's how I felt like she didn't know she was in prison. So Ruby, she did talk to people, I just seen somebody's comment. What was nice about her? What was nice about her? I liked her teeth. I like her teeth. I like people's teeth. And
well, saying she's nice, I guess, would be that she wasn't being mean.
Yeah,
right?
Just me saying what was nice about her. It could be how she presented herself one day, or the fact that she put this different outfit on, or anything little. It could have been nice. It's like if I was.
She's not saying, she didn't come on and say Ruby was nice. Somebody in the comments asked, who did you like better? So she had to answer.
And then in prison, you get makeup. So that's a good part.
Do get makeup?
Yeah, you can order makeup.
Oh, yeah. Order from commissary?
Yeah, you can order commissary makeup. And I feel like with Ruby now, she likes to still she likes to put on makeup.
No.
So she still loves the attention. Because I know when I was in there, I was getting my makeup done.
No, I didn't hang out together.
No, we only were in the same housing section. Do you think Ruby or Jodi should be sentenced for life? Yes. I really think they do.
What would you say to them if you couldn't get in trouble?
I would, if I didn't get in trouble, I probably would have put my hands on them already.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would have.
I think a lot of people would have, because it's easy to, it's easy just anywhere in life. Like, you could easily just start talking about people, or just anywhere you can run into an altercation. But if I didn't get in trouble, I probably would have put my hands on them.
Honest to God. Brianna, I've now kept you on here for an hour and a half.
I know, it's fine. They said, how was the food? It's a lot better than county. You get fruit, so.
Oh, you don't? So the fruit's on the side, right? And you said that's what Jodi or Ruby would save, was the fruit?
Yeah, she would eat the fruit, like a banana. There was a muffin. It's a lot better than county, but it wasn't like the best. I did gain a lot of weight. I'm not going to lie. I gained when I got out of prison.
Commissary stuff.
Yeah, I was 170 when I got out of prison.
It's probably just junk, right?
Yeah, it was all junk, because and I got a lot of tattoos in there, which I regret so bad.
Oh no, prison tattoos.
Yes, they are really horrible. And then I added on top of it because all I had in there was time. So before I started working at commissary, I went to like a yoga class one time, and then I went to like that computer thing one time. I didn't really like leaving my section unless it was to go to work or chow. And so I just got a lot of tattoos, and they are ridiculous. When people see them, they're like, I like your tattoos. I'm like, I know you're lying because this is ugly, and I know it's ugly, so don't lie to me.
Do you think you're gonna get tattoos?
I want to say no, because it, like, unless you enjoy the pain, for me, I did it to like enjoy the pain because it's like with a stick and poke. So I did it to like, just to feel the pain and
something.
Yeah. And I don't know
if you see them, which one?
Yeah, there's that one. It's supposed to say 1996, and it does not say 1996. My last name was supposed to be right here. And then I did 2 zodiac signs together, some hearts. And then I got like some other, these are so horrible. And then I got my...
But it's not bad because it's in with your other tattoo.
Yeah, if you look at it though, like I covered up a music note that I wasn't supposed to be covered up.
Oh no.
And then another one that was supposed to be covered up. And then they covered up like my rose over here with my XO. So like, it's just, it doesn't really matter. It's
just everywhere.
Did she talk about vlogging at all? Are they honest about what they're in there for? I feel like everybody's different when you go to prison. Like you could say one thing like that your charge is this, and then people end up coming later on to find out that your charge is something totally different.
Because you don't know what they're in there for, right? Unless they tell you.
So there was this girl at one point, I think I did post about her. Her name was Megan Kopp or something. She is like abuse on her own kid too.
Oh.
Somebody found her paperwork and ended up showing it to like everybody in the whole like section.
Yeah.
So you could like literally lie about it.
Did Ruby ever get messages? Oh, letters you mean?
If somebody said, would you ever get the tattoos removed and start over with the original? Yes, definitely, especially the ones I got from prison or county. I only have like my rose tattoo and like a believe in my XO, so it looked cute. And then I just went off the deep end and started getting a lot of tattoos. And then I got 3 dots on my face, some finger ones. Like, it's just embarrassing that I actually did all this in prison.
There's nothing else to do though.
Yeah, I could have done like class. Well, I already have my diploma. So like I could have gotten to like do something for college, but I didn't because I was working in commissary for 70 cents an hour, which is ridiculous, but I still did it because it gave me something to do in there.
Mel, thank you so much for all the roses, darling. All right, Brianna, I won't keep you any longer, but if you want to do this some other time, I'd totally be up for it.
Yes, I would love to. I am going to actually read the comments and actually maybe just get a different phone because someone did message me from the prison right now, and I'm going to have her call me. But it just sucks. I'm going to try to record it somehow, and then I'll post about it. She knows more now that I'm out, especially because I'm out now. She has a lot more info about them too now than what I do.
And now you can ask and try and get her to ask questions and stuff.
Since I haven't spoke to her, she's like, that's the first 2 people you ask about? I was like, I asked how you were doing. I asked how you were doing. I was like, I'm asking because I posted them on my TikTok. She's like, you did? I was like, yeah, I posted on them like a month ago. Like, I posted about it. So that's why I'm asking, because I don't know anything anymore. Like,
yeah,
I have no info, like, other than Jodi still carries survival around.
Well, keep me posted, and if you want to go live and chat about whatever you find out, just let me know anytime.
Okay, yes, let's do it.
All right, I will upload this to my YouTube if you want to check it out or let anyone know. Sound good?
Yep.
Okay, it was so nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Okay, take care, Bri.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Oh, you guys, that was so interesting. I'm going to run, guys. Have the best night. Thank you for sticking in with me. Thank you to my mods for keeping it sane as always. And if you have not, make sure you hit subscribe and follow. And I will be back for another episode of The Recap with Julie. Night, everyone.